everybody. Welcome to another week, which means another episode of Across America Good News Edition. My name is Chip Brewster. I'm a national digital host with Nexstar Media, and I think we can all agree, too short, right? Like way too short. I normally only go this short once a year for my Army annual training, and I don't know. I made a mistake. It does look very Army though, right? Yeah, that's the reason that I do it. But anyways, here I am. All my holiday pictures are gonna look this way, and I'm just gonna roll with the punches. That's the good thing about hair. It just keeps growing. Hey, let's talk about the show instead of my haircut, shall we? So today is the day before Thanksgiving when I'm recording this. So we're really only going to focus on stories from the last 5 days leading up to Wednesday, November 26th, 2025. But of course, that time of year, there's a lot of seasonal things to get to. I'm not going to pack the whole show with it. So let me show you some of the videos that we're going to be bringing and some of the stories. We're going to meet a gentleman, World War II veteran, celebrating a pretty big birthday. I've got 3 different animal stories: dogs, horses, cats, all of them for a good cause. We will get a little seasonal, learn about the White House official ornament, and a family tradition that became a family business, homemade eggnog, and how you could buy some if you really wanted to. So we will start in that seasonal vein. Our first story on this week's show coming from our WPIX station in New York City, New York. And it is all about the flavors of this time of year and having those who need help actually help others. It is a pie day is what they call it. Check it out.
It's a sweet start to the holiday season in more ways than one. Rolling out all kinds of holiday goodness. It's part of the 15th annual Pie Day, a tradition in which underprivileged kids bake hundreds of pies for their families and the surrounding community. Mia Luna has been doing it for 10 years, and Saturday she brought her daughter Soleil along for the day of service.
This is a joy. It's not like a job, it's a joy.
And by the end of the day, these pies will make their way from this classroom kitchen to homeless shelters across the city.
These are often homeless young people themselves baking pies for other homeless young people.
Pie Day was started by Andrew Heinrich, founder of Project Rousseau, an organization designed to help those who need it most. Pie Day has become a tradition to kick off the holiday season, but Heinrich says there's a lot more that's poured into it.
We think the best thing about community service is that young people can realize that by being empowered with the ability to help someone else, that also means they are empowered to help themselves and their own communities.
On the Upper East Side, I'm Julie Millet.
Pie Day, New York City. Very cool way to start off the holiday. You know, it's funny, I totally didn't connect the two things, but my haircut ramble off the top and how I usually do it for military service. This next story about military. This one is coming from our station WNCN in Raleigh, North Carolina. You might have heard of the military base Fort Bragg. Well, much like Fort Bragg, there are a number of military service members who do not get to travel home for Thanksgiving. And so we're going to show you how Fort Bragg does Thanksgiving.
A holiday feast at Fort Bragg.
We have turkey, ham, candied yams, greens.
Piping hot meals served at the installation to 250 single service members who won't be able to go home for Thanksgiving.
It's a 2-day drive to go home. I can't just go home on the weekend.
This will be Airman First Class Courtney Ross' first year away from her family in Iowa. She says being in a room with other service members who also won't be able to be with their families reminds her that she's not alone.
So it's really exciting that they put this together and I get to have still a sense of community.
The Better Opportunities for Single Soldiers program, also known as BOSS on the installation, has been hosting this Thanksgiving dinner for nearly 5 years. It started after service members had nowhere to go during the pandemic.
We actually realized that the soldiers weren't going home. We had a lot of soldiers that were displaced. They weren't given the leave and everything like that to go home.
There are thousands of single soldiers at Fort Bragg. While some are on duty protecting our country, others don't have the time or means to go home for the holidays.
It means a lot for the single soldiers that do not have either the transportation to get home or more so the connection with their family.
The Army says this event helps with morale among single soldiers when it can be low.
This kind of brings a community together so that you know that you're not alone, you know that you're going to be fed good food and that you're going to have a good time.
And at the end of the day, the soldiers, whatever challenges they're dealing with, they're fighting for me every day. So the least I can do is fight for them and provide them at least a free meal.
At Fort Bragg, Justin Moore, CBS 17 News.
Eyeing those dishes. You might be watching this. Maybe you've already had Thanksgiving, maybe not yet. And you're thinking like I am, I'm sure. about your own Thanksgiving Day table and some of the things that you're thankful for. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not say I am thankful for my active duty counterparts. Thank you for your service to the country. We're going to continue with the seasonal vein now and turn our attention to Providence, Rhode Island, where our station WPRI got a sneak peek, truly behind the scenes of it's the official White House ornament, but just the craftsmanship and the attention that goes into making it every year. I had no idea that it was this level. Check it out.
In East Providence, Rhode Island, I'm Katie McNeil. Beacon Design, a Rhode Island-based company, has been crafting custom ornaments for decades. And for over 40 years, they've had the prestigious commission of creating the official White House ornament. This year's design is special as the country prepares to celebrate its 250th birthday. Our 12 News team got a tour of Beacon Design's facility where we were able to see the heavy craftsmanship and care that goes into each ornament. We got an in-depth look at each step of the design process, from the raw sheet metal and silkscreen pressings all the way to the assembly line. One of the company's biggest clients is the White House Historical Association, where they're tasked with designing and crafting the yearly White House ornament. Every year, the ornaments carry a different theme that is conjured up, typically months in advance.
We iterate through to get just the right piece that has beauty and appropriateness, and also has a story behind it that talks about the White House Historical Association's mission and the history and intricacy of the piece that we're going to be doing.
There are 3 designs in honor of America's 250th celebration of independence in 2026. The showcase piece with our Declaration of Independence is on sale now.
There really isn't another company in the U.S. that does what we do. A lot of ornaments are made overseas. And we have been able to automate and improve our efficiency to be able to be competitive in what is generally considered to be a non-American product.
And Davidson says it's all thanks to his team. Their dedication and commitment makes projects like the White House ornament possible year after year. In East Providence, Rhode Island, I'm Katie McNeil.
Very cool behind the scenes story. I love getting those because it's one of the many. I mean, I feel like all of these stories, frankly, you don't get to see unless you live in that location, but that it's so local, but can be so national. And we get to see it on Across America Good News Edition. So thank you to the WPRI team for getting that one out there. One more seasonal story for you before we move on to some other vibes of good news. This one coming from our station in Charlotte, North Carolina, WJZY. And it is about a family that really comes together during the holidays because it's business.
Let's show you labeling the bottles first.
On this day, there aren't enough cooks in the kitchen. You see, the elephant in the room is who's not in the room.
I can make some noise for y'all.
How did Mom make this look so easy? Well, that was a fail.
Eduardo Andrade and sister Genesis Carver walked us through the steps of a 40-year-old family recipe. That's the foundation of their business, Carolina Eggnog in Mount Holly.
It brings smiles, because all I can remember is me, my sister, my mom, my dad cooking eggnog in our little, small kitchen at home.
And I can throw cinnamon, whatever you want in there.
Like, my mom always has it, memorized.
Hey, open this. Dash of nutmeg.
Not to stir the pot, but the impetus for the family business, Mom Kathy Troll basically avoided us like the plague.
But where is your mom?
So my mom is very camera shy. Me and my sister tried to beg her to get on camera.
Carolina Eggnog represents the heritage and years of sacrifice since Kathy immigrated from Panama more than 25 years ago. They launched the venture because they saw a void in the market.
I tell all our customers, it's not your grandma's eggnog. And the reason that is because Latin American eggnog is a lot sweeter.
You just have to taste it.
The product that reminds them of holidays at home is made close to home.
Where we're sitting right now was literally a one-car garage.
They turned their garage into a production facility. The family does whatever they can to support Kathy, who's the driving force.
It's a blessing and a dream that my mother's always wanted. She came to America with very little with me and my sister. And for her to be able to come here with absolutely nothing and, 20 some odd years later have a business, it's a blessing.
Once it's cooled, you bottle, let it cool down totally, then put it in the fridge, and that's it.
Occasionally, the humble heart of the story wants no part of being on camera, but it was still a pleasure meeting Kathy through her children.
She really is a humble person. She loves to be behind the scenes. As much as we tried, trust me, John.
Let's see how big we can make this. I want my mother to be able to say that she accomplished one of her dreams.
A business dream to go with the American dream. In Mount Holly, John Lee, Queen City News.
Latin American style eggnog. I did not know that that existed. And to be told that it is sweeter than the eggnog that I might be familiar with, I am intrigued. You have me intrigued, Carolina eggnog. Hopefully some others out there as well. We are going to take a quick break, but that is the end of our seasonal coverage. When we come back, we're going to get some cool stories, from a focus on a World War II veteran to all those animal stories at the end of the show. Easy to keep the streak going this week. I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. Right into our next story. So I got two military stories on this week's show, which is great because it is still November, right? So we are still celebrating veterans here at Nexstar. This one is more of an individual feature piece. A World War II veteran turning 101 years old, and he is still mentally agile, like really cool stories, really great look back at the life that he has lived. So I saw this and I was like, oh, I got to get this in. I got to share this with America. Here it is.
Just feels like any other day.
On November 24th, inside his Roseville home, Joseph PETERBURS celebrated 101 years. His life began in the shadow of the Great Depression, one of 8 children learning to work hard and work together.
You had to really pitch in and know teamwork.
It was in those years he learned the values that would guide the rest of his life.
A sense of patriotism and loyalty and friendship, helping each other.
And by his early teens, he knew exactly what mattered most.
I knew what I would be willing to die for, and that was my country and my God and my family.
Joseph first followed his faith, joining the seminary at 17.
When Pearl Harbor happened, I knew I'd have to leave. On my 18th birthday, I was able to take a competitive exam for the United States Army Air Corps cadet program. And I passed that, and then started my long routine to become a pilot. Flew the P-51, of course, in World War II, and I also flew it in Korea.
There were years of danger, but also deep camaraderie.
They call me Colonel Pete as a term of affection, and I still hear from them some time to time.
And so Colonel Pete built a career of courage and service, earning the Legion of Merit, Distinguished Flying Cross, Bronze Star, Purple Heart, and dozens more. After retirement, he went back to school.
I got my master's degree and did some teaching, enjoyed gardening. I retired in Colorado Springs, so enjoyed the outdoors.
And built a quiet life with his wife of 60 years.
She had a stroke, and I was her sole caregiver for about 8 years, and then she passed away. That basically ended my life as far as I was really bad off.
Seeing his grief, his family brought him to Roseville.
It did change my life completely. I started a completely new life. I had the exhilaration of having 2 great-granddaughters. I had the privilege and opportunity to take care of them. But I'd be dead by now if I would have just stayed in Colorado Springs and lived in the house and sat around moping and talking to other old people about their aches and pains. So.
At 101, Joseph says it isn't his legacy that matters most, but the people who carry that legacy forward.
My best advice to the younger generations is decide what you're going to do and develop your standards early. They can just do their best, and the best will take care of everything else. And set a goal and concentrate on that goal, and don't let anything deter you from that goal. And it's okay if the goal changes, but whatever the goal you have, make sure you do your best at it, and don't be a slacker.
Don't be a slacker. Colonel Pete with some wise words there. I also like the part where he said that life would have basically ended if he had just moped around and talked with the other old people about their aches and pains. Definitely a spry guy. And just like I was saying earlier, thank you for your service, Colonel Pete, and all that you have given for the country and folks like myself. We're going to move on to a different story. This one did I say where that last one came from? I don't think I did. Sacramento, California, KTXL, by the way. This next one, though, coming from our station in Chicago, Illinois, WGN. It's a focus on a local business that sets itself apart by giving space, just a place for people to come in and escape life for a little bit with the help of some clay.
Well, it is simple, ancient, and strangely powerful. A refuge that slows your breath and steadies your hands.
In a neighborhood running on edge, there's a pause button found behind this door.
Pressing your body into something and that holds your touch.
A place where the noise outside is drowned out by the steady hum of the wheel.
Clay that is millions and millions of years old. This sort of synonym of, ceramic being the earth, but you're allowing sort of the earth to heal you.
Here, the focus is just on shaping clay, nothing else.
I feel like there's, things that we also learn from clay. Like clay is also teaching us like patience and how to listen to our body.
And in a neighborhood shaken by immigration raids and uncertainty,
I saw a caravan of ICE vehicles.
That break matters.
But it was kind of nice to just have this quiet, safe space to kind of collect myself and reflect on what just happened and decompress.
It feels therapeutic for sure. There's a lot of learning to let go of expectations and embrace unexpected outcomes.
These cups and bowls aren't just projects. They're a way to stay grounded when life feels unsteady.
Providing a solace from that intense anxiety, I think is really, really important.
As the clay strengthens in the fire, some say they feel a little stronger too.
This will pass and there'll be amazing, beautiful things that happen in the future.
Returning to the street with a renewed stillness and a little clay under their nails.
This place is doing something pretty cool. It's called Empty Bowl. They donate money from the bowls they sell to the Pilsen Food Pantry, essentially using their art to not only heal, but to nourish others. ERIN McElroy, WGN News.
Maybe that gave you a little moment of zen or inspired you to go throw some clay, right? Throw it on the potter's wheel. Yeah, I think I got that phrase right. Okay, we got to take one more quick break. And then when we come back, the animal stories. And there's one in particular I'm really looking forward to involving cats, firefighters, and a photo shoot. Yeah, stay around, stick around, stay around. Either of those work. Before we get to cats and firefighters and photo shoot, which hopefully I did catch your attention with that particular line, I've got two other animal stories that I first want to throw your way. The first one of those coming from our station WJET in Erie, Pennsylvania. You might be familiar with sled dogs. And when you think of sled dogs, likely like me, you think of snow and sleds. Well, there's a different kind of competition that involves sled dogs. And I learned about it for the first time from this story.
Saturday and Sunday, dogs from across the U.S. and Canada came out to compete in the two-day sled dog race. This dry land race featured several divisions of competition.
This is the third year of the Northeast Dryland Challenge here, and there's lots of different events from 6-dog, pulling a 3-wheeled cart, 4 dogs, 2 and 1 dog events such as bike draw and scooter and canicross, where the person is running with the dog, and they take a loop around the 3 miles.
Cleve Patlow says that 120 groups competed in this year's event, and he hopes to welcome even more next year. One competitor in the canicross division says that she got into the sport after adopting her dog, Blackjack.
I bought him at about a year old from a sprint kennel in Maine. He started out in sled sports, and then I bought him to be my canicross dog, which is what we just finished. And he really took to it really fast.
For the competition, competitors raced around the reservoir. They tell us what they enjoy about the sport.
We love dogs. I love watching them just do what they love to do. It's just so effortless, and they have so much fun.
The winners of the competition received trophies and a cash prize. DEANNA Poole, Jet 24, Action News.
Interesting, right? I mean, just the fact that I didn't know that there was another type of competition for sled dogs. And so no snow, no problem. You go, dog. Yeah. I just came up with that on the fly. Let's move on, shall we? Let's get away from that moment. Horses now. This one is coming from our station WXIN in Indianapolis, Indiana, and it's about interacting with horses, animals in general, but horses, and how that can help kids who otherwise face their own difficulties.
And they probably would each like a carrot. We have a lot of fun stuff to do today, okay? Okay. All right, go for it, Liam.
Liam Bailey has a lot of energy, which at times was too much in a classroom setting. Inside this corral, the horses have helped him. The sixth grader has learned to rein in his exuberance for calmness.
I like being out here because the horses are calming, and I like grooming them, and we've learned a lot of coping skills.
At Harnessing Hope, students seeking a better way to make better decisions are taught to say nay to people and situations that will lead them in the wrong direction.
We're teaching students and adults to listen to their gut, listen to who is around them. Are they a good person to be around? Is the situation a good situation to be in? Oh, yummy, good job, pickles.
The Shelby Central Schools obtained a grant this fall to cover the expenses for the first 10 students. In the spring, that number will double to 20 students who will be enrolled in the program.
And so our goal is just to help them chill out a little bit. Maybe if they flip their lid, they can communicate their emotions or their feelings. So if they're about to get mad, they can say, I'm so mad right now, rather than hit someone or yell and cuss and scream and stuff like that.
This is an 8-week program, each visit about 90 minutes or so. And for their last session, check out what they spelled out on the horses. As you can see, using safe paint, words like brave and happy adorned the horses. Hearts were also very popular. I see horses, you see...
magic.
Liam stuck to his favorite word, calm. It's what he's taking back to school. Each individual learned a lesson in this space. The horses, they're a sign of hope. Beyond the first brush, this experience, an unbridled ride into self-discovery.
Very cool. Very cool story coming out of Indianapolis. And the horse-friendly paint at the end, just the connection that those kids had. Awesome story. And now it's time for the final one. The one I've been teasing since the start. Do I need to set it up again? Cats, firefighters, calendar shoot. You're good? All right, let's do it.
Obachi Cat Rescue is getting some help from local firefighters, a local photographer, and hopefully lots of cat lovers in our community as they launch their first ever calendar. Firefighter and paramedic Ashley Lynn says being a calendar model was a new experience.
We love being able to interact with the animals, and we love promoting things in the community and helping out, especially, cats. We love being around them.
Tammy Barnett, the owner of Obachi Cat Rescue, says the goal was to show how both firefighters and furry friends play a role in the community.
We've had a lot of special need, as this one is special need, and it helps pay for their vetting. Takes care of getting them fixed and ready for their forever homes, and plus we've got the food and supplies they need.
All of the money earned goes back into the rescue.
Just it's very important, that we do this because there's so many cats in town that are needing fixed. They're just all over, and the more cats we fix and get this population under control, the better it's going to be.
Money raised will also help fund other needed supplies at the rescue. They say the calendars will be available to purchase, hopefully by Thanksgiving. They will be located on the photographer's website called From Sunrises to Sunsets, or at the rescue's Facebook page. There will also be planners and journals available.
Hopefully, I'm just realizing this now, when I say firefighters and calendar shoot, a lot of other people's minds go other places. So hopefully you weren't looking for that, because I definitely didn't deliver on it. But you know what? It was cute cats. It was a good cause. It was good people. So in the end, I'm still happy with myself, and hopefully you are too. That is going to do it for another episode of Across America Good News Edition. As I said, this being shot right before Thanksgiving, I have to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. And thank you once again for watching right along with me, and I will see you next week.